This is one of Broadway Limited Imports' heavyweight business cars. I picked it up on the recommendation of a friend for a train I am building up. It's quite a neat car, though not without its quirks. During one of its first runs, it derailed, so I re-railed it. I then noticed some of the lights that had been on were now off. I figured something had broken. Later, the same thing happened, and some of the lights I thought were broken were on again. This led me to the instruction manual. These business cars have touch-controlled lighting features. That is to say, touching certain places on the roof turns certain lighting features on and off. On this car, these features include the interior lights, the front marker lights, and the rear inspection lights. I'm still learning my way around this system, but having to reconfigure the car every time I touch it in the wrong place trying to re-rail it gets a little tiresome. On the other hand, if you want to make your model into a disco car, the more I think about it though, is there any ideal way to control these features? I borrowed a pair of Bachmann Amtrak Venture coaches from a friend to take a look at the physical switches hidden beneath an air conditioning panel. The switches are awkward to get to and stiff to throw. That, and if you take your eyes off where you parked that little panel, you may lose it for a second, as, I did. Back in the early 2000s, Rapido trains came up with their famous, or infamous, depending on who you ask, magic wand system for turning interior lights on and off. It's straightforward in theory. Tap the wand over the dead center of the car to activate a magnetic switch that will turn the lights on or off. In practice, however, if you're not dead center on the car with the wand, you'll find the roof weights with the magnet instead. Also, if you're not careful, you can mark the roof of the car with the wand. I may bring an index card next time I have to use this thing. Oh, and if you misplace your magic wand, good luck. None of these systems are perfect. The BLI one is the most convenient, as seen here during the shoot for this video when I wanted to turn the markers off real quick, but at the cost of being easy to trigger accidentally. The others are hard or near impossible to trigger accidentally, but come with other drawbacks. It is what it is at the end of the day. One could add a decoder and address the car for lighting functions, but that would leave out DC operators and add $20 to the purchase price. I'm hard-pressed to think of a way to set up simple light controls in a way that cannot be accidentally triggered without making the system so complicated to use it would cease to be practical. For all their little foibles, these systems have one thing in common. They work. At the end of the day, that is the most important part. Sure, these systems may or may not be everyone's cup of tea, but that factors into what each modeler wants out of their models. I have to give the manufacturers props for trying to find a good way to do something that seems simple, but quickly becomes quite a monster when you start to dig into it. Stay safe out there, and enjoy this great hobby of ours.